Hello, everyone, and welcome to Valanth Silver Gold League Week 4. This is Windhowl versus Ward Save Light Academy. I am Brooke, and I am joined by Mythic Warpig. Yeah, I know I was getting to it. Give me a sec.
I can see you scrolling for it.
You don't know what you mean. And there we see it. I was about to lead into something, but unsurprisingly, we see a Darius ban.
Darius ban, Slacking's main champion, primary top laner. It's gone. We don't have to talk about it. That's good. That saves us some time.
Yeah, it certainly does.
And there's the Sejuani we wanted to see. So, to set the stakes, Windhowl sitting at the bottom of the table, desperately looking for a win. Ward Save Lives looking to combat, stay relevant as Deja Vu and SCS are playing today for that top spot. If Ward Save Lives can keep level by winning this game here, they'll be joint first or second, depending on who wins the game, and stay within touching distance of the lead.
Yeah, it's a really important game, especially against one of the lower members of the league. They need to win this. They need to completely take control of their destiny and win this out here. And getting that ban on Soraka, there are a lot of Soraka games on MacMan, so it's a pretty nice ban. Yeah,
that shows that they're looking to probably prioritize that top side, especially as the Darius is taken away. They must have a pick. Hopefully that isn't going to be interfered with the Soraka. That is one of the more annoying things playing top lane, when suddenly your counterpart has 300 extra health. And the Rakan taken away, we did discuss maybe there'd be a Zyra Rakan pick, but obviously that's not going to show any presence here. Muscleman, quite a good Zyra player, it seems. Or, it's enough to fear it, but they're taking away the Rakan just so it can't complement that.
Indeed, and we're going to see potential Caitlyn. The Gragas being picked up is kind of interesting. I don't think we saw any of that on the OP.GGs. Obviously, must be a scrum pick. I think a pick is actually really solid, especially in jungle, because it has that pressure early.
Yeah, it's definitely looking to the early game. It's also possibly a takeaway from Bauer. There might be just that they're concerned with his early game pick, so takeaway Gragas, consistent, strong. Could always be flexed. We have seen it sort of in the mid lane in some solo queue.
Yeah, and he's also seen top lane play over the years, so it's a possible flex to a couple of places, and support even in more recent memory.
Yep, but an early show of the Caitlyn Thresh lane. Obviously, very strong, very safe. Depending on the support matchup, Thresh can obviously harass from range, especially into that Nautilus. Will have the range advantage. So, looking to apply some pressure from Ward Save Lives onto the bot lane. It's a consistent, strong lane, probably quite safe. So, not unhappy with the pickup there, especially as they ban out their supports. Locking one in early means that they can sort of guarantee it.
Yeah. As you said earlier, Thresh really nice playmaking support alongside things like Rakan, but it also has that kind of safety, which Nautilus doesn't, but instead has that more engage. And it's interesting to see a Nautilus paired up with the Jinx here for Muscleman, who has a lot of games on Jinx. They have 3 AD carries, I believe. It's Jinx, Caitlyn, and the last one was Twitch. Just picking up one of those and getting this comfort, which I think is very important if you're going to be that solid rock for Windhowl.
Yeah, and I don't know if we should talk about it too much. But we have seen some Twitch on Bauer. Could be the last of those 3. I'm surprised it's got through this far. He seems to like to play at the jungle. We'll have to see if it's just a solo queue pick or if they want it here. As the Ahri is picked up, it's probably a comfort pick. Does well into some skirmishes. Has advantage of pick, but nothing really been shown about these
takeaway from Mythics, though, isn't it?
Yeah, actually, that is true. It's his most played champion. We'll have to see. He's got some other picks in there. Nico, probably one that we might see a priority on, might be taken away. So they're going to look at removing the Echo. Not something we've seen in any of the teams.
Yeah, I see. I think it's saw one play. I think from Vigorous. I can't quite remember, but it did see at least one game earlier in the split. But it's not a specifically strong pick, and it's not something I think Mythics has played a lot of. It isn't showing up on their pool, but Nico, interesting to see if we actually have Mythics pick it up, because then it'll be these 2 players playing their specialities against each other.
Yeah, and let's look at what's WSL pick blind now, because obviously both bot lanes have been shown. They've got their mid lane. Do they take their top laner first and let it be counterpicked to ensure they get the pick they want, or are they going to leave it for last pick and try and give Slacking a little bit of an easier matchup? We see the Cho'Gath taken away, another one of his strong picks alongside that Darius. So it does look like they're target banning him out, and there's the Kled.
Oh, I wasn't going to say anything because I didn't want to make sure that I didn't give it away. That they have this Kled in the back pocket. Slacking absolutely mental on this champion. Won't be able to do those level 4 tower dives this time, unfortunately. It does get banned away. But I'm excited to see what he's going to pick up in place of it, because I think he is a strength for this team, especially against Amsut, by the way, who has some interesting picks like Singed, which if we see, I'll be very excited to see.
Yeah, we obviously, well, neither of us will have any idea how to cast that, but we'll give it our best shot. I can imagine it will mess with the director's cam if we do see it, so I'm almost hoping it isn't picked up here. But they are going to guard that top lane pick for last. Showing the Elise, already you have to be thinking early game into the Gragas going to be quite combative, especially this Caitlyn lane. We have to see where Bauer chooses to position himself, if he's going to favor that top side or the bottom side, or if he's going to try and make impact everywhere. But Lissandra coming in is a nice safe lane into the RE, should just farm and scale fine, so wouldn't expect too much action there.
Yeah, interesting to see the Elise pick into Gragas. I've never felt particularly comfortable about Elise into Gragas, because obviously he has a lot of AoE, you can deal with spiders when you're trying to skirmish. I think in general he still comes out on top, but it's not quite as good as you might think, and especially because he's reliable in engage. We do see a Gnar picked up, and having that ranged top laner, that's going to be really important to keep, by the way, safe.
Yeah, I love that pickup, actually. That's really nice, because it's good into most things that they think Slacking's going to be playing. So Gnar, good safe blind. It's going to give them kind of that control. He obviously has that flexibility. You can either go for the team fight style or for the 1v1 ranged harass with like the Wit's End build. And we see the Jax, so opting to that 1v1. Might be a question of who can snowball fastest here, as Gnar's going to have a nice fun time at the start of the game, but as soon as Jax hits that 1, maybe 2 item spike with the Spear of Shojin Triforce, things turn quite quickly in Slacking's favor.
This is interesting because I generally associate Jax with Slacking, because Slacking plays a lot of jungle if you look at his op.gg, especially prior as well. But trying to bring those skills to the top lane, these early levels, as you say, going to be hugely important. It's about whether Sup can get that early CS advantage, keep ahead in terms of items, and use that to harass him out of lane, and then from there push forward.
Yeah, and don't want to talk about too much about the summoners, but it looks like we're going to see 4 TPs in the game. So no one going for that aggressive ignite, which you do often see on an Ari, but going for that teleport play. So likely going to be the we might see the ice glacial augment wave clear Ari that's obnoxious to play against. We'll have to see if he picks that up.
Yeah, I feel like other than the top sides, a lot of this is relatively safe. The Jinx, I would think, wants to play safe, but with the Nautilus, who knows?
Yeah, that is an interesting pick. The Nautilus is not very good at keeping Jinx safe, especially if the Threshold comes in. All he can really do is say, all right, we're going to battle, and go in himself. So could see a coin toss going on, or it might just be that the Thresh and the Nautilus agree not to throw the hooks out at each other, and Caitlyn just sort of out-farms Jinx and Precious there. We'll have to see if they can make good on the Caitlyn range advantage early on. Obviously, Jinx
I think if we're looking at that situation, though, where they're not throwing hooks, that Thresh is certainly far stronger. Has the Flay to try and disengage. Can obviously use a Lantern for a similar effect. But also, that range harass again, as you said, Caitlyn abusing her range advantage, and Thresh being able to do something very similar. Yeah,
and it's a dangerous lane to engage on. If you can lock someone down, the Jinx traps will guarantee that CC, but the same can also be said of the Caitlyn. So it could either be very explosive or it could be very passive. Given that we're looking at a silver gold league, I expect it to go really one-sided really quickly. Someone might take a hook they don't want.
So going back to this this range differential, I do really want to focus on this top lane. That's the place where I think most things are going to happen. I really do not like this matchup. You're talking about hit those items, but you have such a long period till before you get that Triforce for this Jax, and up until that point, it is so bad. And unless Elise, or Bauer on this Elise, puts on a lot of pressure early, and Dark Chance isn't really able to exert anything, I think that lane is going to go downhill very quickly.
Yeah, we'll have to see if Jax can set up the gank. He obviously has that leap strike, but charging up the stun for the leap strike, if Gnar just is quick enough and just jumps away, that's going to be very difficult for Elise to land her cocoon, which, if it hits, will probably guarantee a kill, but it's going to be really hard to land. So as long as Amsat, by the way, doesn't blow his cooldowns and plays defensively on wards, you're right, Slacking is in for quite a bad time, throwing those boomerangs at him.
Yeah, I do think in general this mid lane's relatively safe. There's not much that we're going to see from Lissandra onto Ari until maybe around 6, and even then, if Lissandra tries to get onto the Ari, we just see the ultimate from Ari to escape. And then we see vice versa. There's very little that you're really going to be able to do to these players. If you hit one of those CC, they're still relatively safe. And if the jungler is present, as I'm expecting from both of these very aggression-centric and very presence-based junglers, it's going to be very difficult to win that 2v2 properly without some really nice CC laying.
Yeah, 100% right. Like, I imagine it's going to be a safe lane. They'll shake hands, they'll trade blows, they'll both teleport back to lane with the lost chapter, and we won't see them for another 10 minutes. Is likely what I expect to happen. But saying that, we are looking at Windhowl. They are coming as the heavy underdogs into this game. So we'll have to see if they've got anything kind of prepared to upset the status quo, because so far, like based on just stats alone, they've struggled to take any games out of their matches. They've got one game won out of their 3 matches, so they're really desperate to win. It's going to be an uphill battle, but we'll have to see if they've done some good scouting. Looks like they have with some of their target bans, and see if they can not win. Ward Save Live down, I think.
I mean, it is whether the cornered rat will bite the hunter, and I think with this draft, they are in a really good position to do so. I think they've got strong on the mid and the top side. It's really looking towards the spot. If mistakes are made by MacMan or Mosselman, you can easily go down to this combo. You just need to play safe. And farm up. That Jinx is far more relevant than the Caitlyn in the late game, because obviously Get Hyper is so strong. And alongside Lissandra lockdown, they get that first pick, it's over. The fight is just completely done. Other than a really nice engage from Jax, there's not much you can do about that.
Yeah, and if you just want to talk about scaling across the board, like, there's a lot of great early game from Ward Save Lives. Obviously, Caitlyn, the Elise, Ari in a way is good at late game. She's great in those 2v2s, but there's nothing to bridge them until that Jax. Like, yes, Caitlyn might hit some early tower plates, and they're kind of going to be relying on that to have the gold advantage to get them to the stage where Jax is going to be a real threat in these 1v1s. Otherwise, I do see sort of Jinx and Nautilus just being fine with scaling because it's Nautilus. He's going to get huge. Jinx is just going to just layer rockets in the back. And you're going to have that Gnar for the first 2 items, as you said, to just beat up on Jax until Jinx can get to that point. So it's going to be interesting to see how well they can use Yetz's Caitlyn to see if they can press an advantage. Otherwise, there might be a mid-game lull where Windhowl are going to have a big opportunity, a big window to just apply pressure across the map.
That's the thing as well, is looking at these teams. Potentially, one of the big reasons for Windhowl as to why they haven't been able to pick up a game yet. They have some decent players. It's about coming together a team and actually taking those opportunities. That's the really hard part, more than anything. Because we get to that mid game, they start to look towards like getting up. They're getting a lot of power. Using it is that really hard part.
Yeah, absolutely. And we see standard line of scrimmage. Nothing fancy. It looks like both these teams realize like a 1v1 fight. Level 1 fight with Thresh and Nautilus is probably just going to end in a stalemate. So defensively positioning, Gragas set in the mid lane, Mythic's trending towards the top side, might play a blue buff start. But we do see the aggressive summoner spells from Ward Save Lives, double electrocute. That 2v2 with the mid lane jungler is looking to fight early. Like level 3, I expect Elise will be heading onto that top side jungle, trying to take away that blue buff potentially, and we should see probably a duel.
Yeah, they have to do it to around that level 3 turn because they have that short window of opportunity between them and level 6 as to where they really can get aggressive, where Mythics isn't so strong, can't really do all too much. You hit one of those CC, just gone. But you need to find that window. Otherwise, they just become the classic Lissandra. I sit there, I have Aftershock, I don't care what you do.
Yeah, and Lissandra, we haven't seen her for a while because of that sort of nerf cooldown on her Q. Early game, you do notice it's up to like 10 seconds now. So her wave clear is a little weaker early, but as soon as she picks up some cooldown, she will be just fine. So, like you said, there is a window to capitalize, and it does have to be quite early. Otherwise, Lissandra's just going to be safe throughout the Q and the W and walk away from the lane.
Definitely need to be careful. So, looking at these junglers, they're starting on opposite sides, and that shows that we're going to see some aggression from Val towards this top side, trying to keep slacking into this game early because they know this matchup is not very good.
Yeah, and we're going to see it farm out. I mean, we're focusing on the bot side here. Early level 2 spike for Ward Save Lives, as you expect with the Thresh range advantage. So I imagine they're just going to sort of punish them, should shield them from some farm. But Jackson top lane doing all right, picking up. He's only dropped a CS from the first couple of waves. He's not doing too badly collecting farm. Do we see support, by the way, start to apply some pressure? That's kind of the question. Like, when does he begin to deny from slacking?
Starting to actually amass quite a large wave as well in the top lane, maybe trying to use this to push into tower. The question is if they don't respect the fact that Bao can be up here, you need to be very careful. Because he can easily find that kill. Looking towards Rift Scotland now, we're going to see a potential skirmish between the two junglers that will decide to go for a little bit. Directed camera doesn't seem to be showing us it, but there is something going on over there.
Yeah, a lot of pings going on. They both know where each other is. They both know that they want to fight for it. I think it's just about to spawn, so at least it's on it.
Down into bot lane. That is Muscleman taking a lot of damage early. They do force out heal in this early engage, and Muscleman not looking so healthy.
Great hook from Stronger. Just uses the minion as it dies. Comes through it. It's great play from World Save Lives. It's what we need to see from the Caitlyn. If they can get these waves crashing in, 2-3 auto attacks on the tower shot, by 7 or 8 minutes they'll have a turret plate. They can start to press that advantage, especially with this heal down.
You definitely very careful. It still has flash, obviously, but when you don't have that heal, you can die so easily, especially to this ignite that is there.
Oh, that's a great hook.
Looking to engage.
Plays into the trap.
Oh, he will go down to the long range auto attack from Yetz. I was really stressed. I was like, Stronger, why didn't you ignite? Such a mistake, but they managed to make it work with a flash.
I was looking for the dive. Maybe they don't want to stay back.
Watch out here for your Festive. Will be able to run away using that Q. Doesn't quite make it out of the body slam range. Will have to flash. Again, look back bot lane. Bauer is still hanging around. Muscleman alone under tower against 3. This is a tower dive and a half. And this is the exact kind of aggression that I want to see from these players. Uses the repel and Bauer just resets the turret.
Excellent dive. Stronger there. Just baits the tower aggro. Doesn't auto attack. Doesn't do anything but gets the CC from the traps out of Muscleman. Then we see Bauer gets the first bit of damage on, so he knows he can repel it to safety. Yetz is able to auto attack. It's a really nice play, and they both walk away with the kill. It's exactly the kind of early pressure we wanted to see from this Caitlyn Thresh lane. And I want to go back to that first kill because it was beautifully played. Stronger hooks placed directly into the trap, and it was perfect execution. Well.
Yeah, and not a huge amount of harass as well on this top lane. They're not trying to take advantage of anything. Dark Chance traded a flash in the mid lane, but that's all he got. Whereas we see the flash from Man, heal down from Man. That bot lane is ripe for another gank from Power when he's ready.
Yeah, and I mean, look at this top lane advantage. Like, I'm by the way, has got the wave kind of where he wants it if he can hold it here. Slacking is stayed level on farm, but obviously there's about 5 to go down. So not the best start from the Gnar, but he is doing work, and the lane is exactly where he wants it. If Dark Chance does want to visit, there's a clear avenue where Jax cannot wall out. It's a Gragas, he can just flash body slam. It's unavoidable to see.
The issue is the Gragas is still bot side. He's trying to play towards it and alleviate some of that pressure. But as a result, I think they need to kind of go all in towards this top side. You can't split your focus like that. You need to laser focus, get the Jax behind, hope that Muscleman and MacMan can do enough to keep themselves in this game. And then from there, that's how you play around it. You get your Gnar ahead, you TP's in, then you can set up aggression bot side. They've got this deep ward in the bush to try and play around it. Let them push up, and this is just such a great opportunity to make these plays.
Yeah, and I agree with you. Going into the start of the game, that 100% should have been their game plan, but already we're seeing like an 18 CS discrepancy, and most of that because the tower went down, but Caitlyn is really pushing this advantage more than you'd expect against this Jinx. Yes, she had to lose farm because she died at the tower, but that's a BF sword to boots for the Jinx. This is going to be a nightmare of a lane. And I expect this means whatever Drake they want to take, it's going to be there.
Yeah, there's a 900 gold advantage in the ADC role. And we'll see Dark Chance getting preyed upon, but will barrel across that wall and escape. The pressure from mid just isn't there quick enough, unfortunately, from Mythics to make a proper turnaround. But it would have been difficult anyway, because that would have been 3 versus 2, because it's just so difficult for Imsup, by the way, in this position to move away from that lane, because he is sort of under tower right now.
Yeah, I mean, the advantage and disadvantage of a freeze. A freeze is great if you know your jungler's going to stay bot side, because you can just sit there safely. But if you need to collapse onto your blue side jungle, really good positioning for Mythics to make sure that didn't turn out too badly, because Imsup, by the way, like I said, holding a freeze there is good play, but if he's going to sit under that tower, he can't help.
Let's see if Castle back towards the bot side, potentially looking something. Obviously, just doing their camps right now, but they are going to be going towards this ward. The information isn't given away. There is the hook. There's the cocoon. that will most likely be a dead Jinx.
Yeah, I think Jinx auto-attacked a minion when she tried to walk away. Very unfortunate there. Their only benefit there is that they get the Ignite, but that was a perfect setup of CC. Really well played from Stronger and Bauer. And they're going to move to this Dragon, as we'd expect. Going to do a lot for this Jackson lane, I imagine, with that with the Narpoke coming through. Ocean Drake is almost the ideal one they could have picked up.
Indeed. And again, playing around this vision that we were talking about, with that perfect layer of CC you referred to, it's just really nice jungle support synergy. That's exactly what I want to see from Stronger and Bauer here, because they're putting a lot of pressure on the spot lane, and it's working out so well for them in this pre-6 time. Yeah,
absolutely. I'm Goldly just to see how significant it is, but it's nearly double the CS on the Caitlyn over this Jinx. As I mean, the next back is going to be significant, and even their weakest link, the Jax, is ahead on CS to this now. This is going excellently for Ward City Lies. That transition into the mid game that we were a little bit worried about at the start of the game, that's not a concern anymore. They have comfortably put themselves ahead. A full BF Sword and a Kirsch's Shard over the Jinx AD carry. They're going to have a good time when we hit this sort of 15-minute mark and break out laning phase.
Bauer unfortunately misses that engage there. We'll see a counter gank here from Dark Chance. They're getting aggressive onto Bauer, but unfortunately that cask sends them flying a little bit too far. They will get away. The flash is forced out. Dark Chance under a lot of pressure here. Takes a lot of damage. The flash here from Slacking as Bauer gets that re-engage, and WHL Mythics is going to go down. That's 2 kills in the mid lane. A great TP from the top lane from Slacking. And I'm Unsub, by the way, having very little presence so far in this nut.
Yeah, that was hard to see. Mythics and Dark Chance had the right idea, I think. Go in, try and burst down, get a kill and walk away. But the execution was lacking. The barrel came through as Lissandra ideally wanted to be ulting onto the Ahri. He ended up ulting himself because I think the barrel misplaced them. Neither of them go down, and they collapse from Slacking and Stronger. Really good, really timely. Gets them 2 kills, a plate, and more pressure into this bot side river as they start to play some wards down.
Yeah, they are constantly harassing, nipping at this bot tower. 2 turret plates going down for Yeez, and just currently soloing this lane, giving the Thresh of Stronger the opportunity to run around and make these.
Yeah, interesting to see. I would expect to see if it's a 2v1 lane. You got to expect Macman needs to step up, throw that ultimate down, and really pressure Caitlyn. Because if they're willing to sit back and just let her take turret plates in front of them, it's going to be much more difficult. Yes, there's a damage disadvantage, but 2v1, you really got to step up and try and take those. So hopefully they'll realize they have a little bit stronger, and if they see the Thresh not there, they can go to punish, because that's going to be their window to do anything this lane.
Indeed. About windows, they do have that Gragas down. Unfortunately, Dark Chance did get spotted out by a ward. That is Slacking and Bauer jumping right on top of this Nard. Doesn't even get a chance to transform. And it's a pretty good lane for a Jax at this point.
Yeah, you'll take it. 5 CS advantage, 2 kills, up an item. Perfect laying of CC. That's something I've been really impressed by Ward Save Lives on. Every time they've hit a CC, there's been something to follow it up. They haven't just been throwing it out there early. Jax waited, drew him in, and then jumped on him. Hit the stun with perfect timing, saw the cocoon, and there's nothing you can do in that 2v1 scenario. It is an Elise with that early execute damage.
Yeah, you were talking about this execution. That's exactly what we see from Bauer. He's been really on top of it, been all over the map. Honestly, generally, when I see the Elises, I'm not very excited about them. If I see an aggressive jungle, I want to see Elise. Sorry, not Elise, a Xin Zhao or something like. This has been stellar, and we just see yet again Dark Chance cannot push forward, dies to Yetz here, and Yetz on this Caitlyn has also been amazing.
Yeah, played really well. Was very greedy there. With the I don't know why Dark Chance was there, I gotta be honest. There's nothing really to take away. Knew the Elise was top side, so maybe just wanted to drop some vision, see if there was a blue buff to steal. Yeah, but it pays for it with his life.
Talking about going back to this deep vision, we see wards deep inside both sides of the blue jungle, and just that shows how much we've seen in pressure-wise from Ward Save Lives so far, as they have just taken control of this game. And so, by the way, getting pretty aggressive here onto this Jax, looking for an opportunity to dive on top of him, but the Megaphone is more of a harm than a hindrance.
And there is pressure in every lane. Slacking feel like he can go aggressive in this matchup. Caitlyn hammering on the tower, and the Rift Herald dropped to mid lane. If they pick up a kill here, this is going to be first tower.
Oh my, that is really unfortunate. Didn't get the opportunity to use that ultimate for Mythics, and they're going to look towards this tower. Should be able to get at least all the turret plates. Flashes, interestingly, is going to go down here as Tower makes that mechanical mistake. That is a nice hook. Again, we see the fight bot lane. They don't try to continue. It doesn't go in on that. I'm surprised. The Stronger is currently just in such a great position. I thought he was going to go right on for that. Yeah,
that was a lot to unpack there. Bauer very aggressive with the flash, misses the hook. That's going to be very costly. The opportunity cost of that is first tower and extra plate going down. Is that when the mid tower possibly just has its last plate on? Going to the top side.
You see the fight continuing to go on bot side. Muscleman is going to go down, as that's a really nice play from Yeez to set up that double kill. Stronger baiting well as well. But as you say, top side, they did lose slacking as he was quite overextended, didn't respect the fact that Nah can just run him down.
Yeah, and yes, Jax died, but really, if anyone's going to lose their lane, it's the Jax, and he's still level on CS and up a kill. Hits that Triforce. Excellent play from this bot side of WSLA. It's just been really dominant performances. The Elise is going to pick up an Infernal, boost them further into that mid game, and Windhowl are going to have to find some form of picks, either with this Lissandra and this Nautilus, and quite quickly to stem the bleeding. 2 kills to 10. 6k gold advantage at just 15 minutes. It's looking very good for Ward Save Lives.
It is. I've been impressed though. Windhowl in the early game didn't look like they were going to do basically anything. They looked like a whimpering dog. But now they have shown they do have a bit of bite in them and started off, got a couple of kills back and starting to make plays around the map where they can. Finding these avenues of strength, while they are going to be small now for this Nah, that's exactly what you need to do. You need to play around him. Now he's got that kill up, got at least that kill in his lane, and set up for something here. Because you need to work together to find an opening, because without it, you're not going to really win these 1v1s very often.
Yeah, and we just look at the tower states to give you an indication that... Oh, no. Oh, dear. I'll make my point, because that was just a quick kill. If we look at the tower pressure, Sub, by the way, has done good work. You see the top tower is down to, I think, maybe 1,000, 2,000 health. So at the very least, he got the plates from that. But every other lane, with that mid tower dropping, is just been completely abandoned. So Nah done what he can, but it looks like this bot lane and mid lane have sort of conceded advantages. We're going to have to see if they can find the picks, the kills in this mid game, to try and stem the bleeding and get this Jinx a little later into the game, as it's Caitlyn's hit the power spike of Infinity Edge Zeal, going to be doing some serious damage.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty darn scary. As you said, I'm away playing very well. Homie, he's one of the casters too, so I'm excited to see him play well. Show that casters aren't all just garbage. Like
we're not just doing this because we can't play. Like we have sons. Some of us have.
Even though he's lying to us with his name, he's clearly not the support in this game.
Yeah, he's just throwing us off. He's trolling us. It's fine.
It's his strat, right? It's mind games.
Alright.
Setting up towards this mid lane is what I expect to see, and I think that's why we're seeing Windhowl put a lot of players towards it, because we've seen so much pressure towards it. Power's been constantly there. We've seen Yetz and Stronger all rotating up. They're looking for an opportunity to push this mid in where they can and give Slacking the opportunity to play 1 and 4 so that they can push these side lanes.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see their macro for this, because like if you look on the map, there's not really anything for Ward Save Lives to take right now. They have to find something to do with that time while they have this sort of massive pressure advantage. What can they kind of cash it into? They're going to have to make a really coordinated effort. I want to see them try and look to unlock this top side tower and just take that down, give them complete vision control so they can threaten a super early Baron. But we'll have to see if they can coordinate that, as it looks like a 2v2 up there in the top lane right now.
Yeah, but so far in 2v2s, they've not gone particularly well for the side of Windhowl. We see the flash. Here comes that Predator Gragas, dodging out of the way, using that RA ultimate. Festive, saving their own life. And they're struggling to put this pressure down, and that's why we see the bot lane moving into the jungle, taking a bit of farm, and setting up towards the mid lane.
Yeah, you have 3 people standing by Slacking. No one's contesting this Thresh and Caitlyn, and they're just going to walk up to the mid tower and get some free damage down.
Yeah, they're just being split around the map, and I was saying they were going to be playing 1-4, but right now they're playing 1-2-2, which isn't a very orthodox split-pushing strategy, but I guess it works.
When you are coming up to 8,000 gold ahead, 9,000 gold ahead, you can pretty much get away with anything. stops him.
Charm. Dark charm. So low. Mid tower going down. They're rotating up to top side. You really need to get the heck out of dodge here if you're on the blue side.
Support, by the way, going to get out. Is he going to get his 9 time? He looks like he's going to stay and try and get the evolution and make an outplay here.
A Dark Chance is in no way surviving. I'm stopped, by the way. Now under a lot of pressure. He's not long for this world either, as they will be now turning onto the top tower. Would save lives, flexing a little.
Yeah, and they found something to do with their time. They took 2 towers for the privilege of only a couple of minutes. The cold lead is now over 11,000 ahead. Like, they're looking quite pretty.
Yeah, I mean, I actually thought Bao was going to go down there, but will be able to escape. We will see a very dead Jinx as multiple flashes are expended for them. Slacking taking a lot of damage, should be able to escape using that Wartop, and is in a situation now as the rest of the team is putting that bit of damage towards the top side. And they're looking to now set up towards closing this game out. They at the base, Baron's up in about a minute and a quarter, in a really good situation.
Yeah, and then all I want to see from them is send Slacking back, pick up. He's gone for the Tiamat, so he's going to be pushing those waves in. Head bot side with the TP, and just wait to draw at least 2 people and then turn on that Baron. There is no way that Windhowl can go and set up any vision into an Ahri, into a Thresh, into an Elise without losing a member. So as long as they just position themselves aggressively, this should be an easy closer.
And unfortunately, this is how we expected this match to go. Windhowl had a really nice draft. I really like the look of it, but they're not able to execute on the same level that World Save Lives currently are. As World Save Lives are rotating around the map as multiples. Bauer providing pressure all across the place, using that early aggression, really showing them how it's done. Really clean play. Honestly, this is not what I expected. I haven't seen a World Save Lives game yet, and this is pulling out the water. I'm very impressed.
Yeah, and we can see why they're probably in contention for that top spot. Like, they're playing very well. The layering from Baron Stronger, one I highlight, has really been the MVP. If you have to give it to a pairing, it's definitely to them, as they've made plays around the map, just consistently got that bot lane ahead. Then we saw Stronger move to the mid lane and kind of enable that counter gank. It's been really well played from that Thresh, and I don't think we'll see it in Game 2.
The thing is, what do you stop banning? Maybe that if you take away the Rakan, Stronger does a very... I think the Rakan was on the blue side bans. I can't quite remember what the bans are. But there were definitely some support bans like the Morgana. If you drop that, I think Morgana Stronger does something very similar. It's very difficult to actually take a ban away with, because there are a lot of very good engage-heavy supports who you could be picking. Hell, he can even play Nautilus in this situation, and I don't think it would be very different. That's
the thing. We got to remember, Windhowl did ban the Morgana, so they could look to just not ban that and take it for themselves. Here's that face check.
Well, rather than not taking themselves, they could try not to walk right into the enemy team. Really big mistake from them there, and it's just, again, putting another nail in the coffin for them, as we see WSL go towards the spot side, take another tower, and keep on pushing these waves.
Yeah, and it's the cascade of them doing this really good due diligence. They've had sweepers, they've had pink wards all the time. Control wards, sorry. Windhowl do have some vision in the jungle, but it's just nowhere near enough. And World Save Lives has been out. They could have been in any of those bushes. Any of those could have been a death bush. They've just walked over a ward, so at least they're spotted. But like, the fundamentals really do seem to be there for World Save Lives. Clear out the vision, move where you need to, set up a play around the tower, and then take the objective. Don't chase the kills down, which they've been doing really well. And we're now going to see them heading towards that top side. Threaten the Baron, or just take this tier 2 turret. Both are easy objectives.
The Baron is just so simple to take. I think we're even going to see them do that, as just Stronger and Festive will be pushing towards it. Yetz has a blue buff, and they're going to, I would expect, turn towards it. They don't seem to be doing all too much, as they are just playing on 1 and 4, as Slacking does attract a little bit of attention as Dark Chance goes down towards it.
And that's not the one, like, don't send Dark Chance. He's the one with the smite. He's the one who can make the hero play here. So, like, as soon as they see Gragas there, I'm almost expecting them to have already started, but it seems like they're going to base and reset. We'll have to see if Slacking can reapply that pressure. They look like they're going for a full reset, and this should probably be the last back we see from them voluntarily before they try and close out the game.
Yeah, I think if you see anything, them back off again, it's a bit of a mistake. We do see that Jinx rocket to check the Baron, see that they're not on it, to give them a sigh of relief that they're not going to suddenly have to deal with Baron-powered minions. We will see them now returning to the site of the crime and clearing out this vision, because they want, again, to set up for this Baron, or at least threaten.
Yeah, and I love to try and find the positives where Windhow's win conditions are, because, you know, it's not doom and gloom. It is League. There's always a chance of getting these back. But I'm looking at the Jinx's just Infinity Edge to the Rapid Fire Static Shiv Infinity Edge Caitlyn.
Yeah.
It's looking difficult to find ways back in. You can say Lissandra's got the wave clear with the Proto Belt, but she's also had that for about 5 or 6 minutes now. They have limited options aside from finding a really favorable team fight, like a 5v3. And what do they have to sacrifice for that? It's going to be Slacking's bot lane, who's already set running straight towards that tower.
Yeah, and they need to send someone over. Mythics is going to have to rotate out. It's a 4v4, and I don't think it matters how many members. It's going to be so difficult. And now without the jungler... Do I need to say anything?
No, not really. Caitlyn did a crit for about 500 damage, and they're going to get the Baron. That's my high-level analysis.
Yeah.
Not much else. Slacking backs away just so he doesn't get collapsed upon. Gonna wait for that Baron buff before he ushers in the new wave of minions. And this has been a really clean game. They've definitely done all the work they needed to make sure they haven't had like an opportunity giving away anything. And aside from those 2 kills, they're looking, squared for a perfect game. No towers went down. They haven't lost a Drake. They've just applied pressure consistently across the map. It's been very impressive from what's like.
Indeed it has. You see another Zeal picked up by Yet. I think that back was a little bit unnecessary, but hey, whatever. At this point, it's very difficult for them to actually lose. I want to see them do that 1 and 4 again. Play towards the top side, put the pressure on. Slacking's already forcing multiple members towards the bot side. You just win the 4-man or 3-man that you get forced into. There's not much you can really do.
Caitlyn sells the Zeal just to spite you, buys a BF sword, has 75% crit chance anyway, is going to do an extra 500 damage per headshot proc. I don't see anyone with the tanky stats to survive that. The only thing support, by the way, has got is the Durham's Fist and some health crystals.
Oh my, did you see that? Slacking got, just stopped. The hook from MacMan barely misses. Slacking thinks it hit, and that's why he stopped. And then went for the Warthog after it missed. The engage coming in from Windhowl. They will take 1, but will it be enough? Stronger, eating a lot of damage here, but will set up for so much of an opportunity as Festive dashes through everyone. The Caitlyn is down, but the Jax is still here, and he is able to tear through towers. They're down for the next 30 seconds. This game is all but over.
Yeah, and I mean, Windhowl had to pick a moment to fight. They timed it exactly right. As soon as they could find a good window, they went in. They assassinated the Caitlyn, which was great. But then Festive turned up, pressed his ulti, and with that void stuff, ripped through everybody. Very clean game from What Saves Lives. Glimmers of hope from Windhowl as they were willing to try and find those fights at the end when they had to. Maybe want to see that aggression a little bit earlier. A really good first game from What Saves Lives, though.
Indeed it is. I was impressed. Obviously, by Ward Saves Lives. I want, as you said, Windhowl, if you could do that earlier, if you can start doing things along those lines, in just a little bit of an early time bracket, push out that aggression that we saw from Unsop, by the way, as he got a solo kill onto Slacking, you can find a way through to this second game. So I'm very excited for that. Do stay with us. We're going to go to a short break, and we will be right back.
Of a cliff, realize there must be more to life than this. Reaching for the stars, Reaching for the stars, traveling so far, like a dragonfly. Keep your secrets there, keep them everywhere. Just you and I run away. I run away. I run away.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Valanth League Week 4. This is the Silver Gold League, and we have Game 2 of Windhell and World Save Live Academy. I am joined by Mythic Warpig, and I am Rook. We're back in the second game, as I said. And, first game, what do you want to say about it?
It was quick. It was a quick game. We might have a bit of a delay to the start, but we'll talk about the previous game. I saw a lot of real good stuff from World Saves Lives, and I saw some good intent from Windhell. They definitely tried to make a couple of really smart plays, especially that mid lane when they tried to turn a counter gank. More of that, and we'll see how this game turns out. But based on the previous performance, you've got to heavily favourite World Saves Lives.
Absolutely. The issue is sure, we saw some really clever plays. Dark Chance and Mythics in that mid lane. Sup had a nice solo kill on Slacky. The issue is the frequency of those plays, because we see similarly nice things from Ward Save Lives. Sorry, I'm just slurring my words. From Ward Saves Lives Academy. There's a lot of S's there, and they just do it all over. They do it in the bot lane, they do it in the mid lane, they do it in the jungle, they do it in the top. Every single person is just spontaneously making plays in and of themselves, and creating plays for other players as well. If you want to focus on specific ones, Stronger and Bauer, what a duo, man! Really
good. I want to see the Thresh taken away. Yes, they've taken away the Elise, but I think either one of those components was really important. Unless they want to first pick Morgana, you've got to take away a playmaker from Stronger, because based on what we just saw, he's going to put the team on his back, even if they're not carrying on their own. Pick up for Caitlyn.
Yeah, pick up for Caitlyn. I'm surprised we saw that. I thought, there's so many supports open right now for them. Stronger can literally play any of them, and I feel pretty happy. That's the thing, is you have to ban away multiple supports here. That Morgana, I think, is a really clever pick, as you say. Black Shield is going to negate a lot of what Stronger probably wants to do in this laning phase.
Yeah. Playing Morgana was like banning loads of champions. It'd be absolutely bonkers to pick Thresh and Nautilus into it. I sort of expect they might lean into it anyway. But Stronger does play a lot of other stuff. He's not just limited to Thresh Morgana. He's got some Nami, Lulu, some of these enchanters. So default to that. Give yourself a lot of poke in this Caitlyn lane, which again has an advantage over Xayah. It's going to be the Yuumi. Lean into that poke even more. And they can still probably carry this team. I do like Morgana into Yuumi, that sort of dark binding kind of, it's pretty good lockup, but there's not too many windows to attack a Caitlyn lane. You can just stand so far away.
Yeah, alongside that Yuumi as well. Interesting to see this Jax. The Kled was actually open this time for Slacking, but they still pick up this Jax for him. Interested to see if we see the Gnar picked up for Sup, by the way, again. It didn't work out fantastically. But if you put some more ganks up towards there from Bauer, it could be a lot better for them.
See, I don't think we will see the Gnar. The Gnar was a blind pick, and the Jax was picked into it. They now know it's going to be a Jax. They can now wait on their fourth pick, hit him with the Jax. I am surprised they picked up Ahri and showed their mid laner so early. They could have waited until the second rotation. So Mythic must really have some comfort on it, or want to deny it.
I mean, Mythics has a hell of a lot of games. Well, a decent number of games and a really nice win rate in KDA on this Ahri. We were talking about last game. Festive picked it up, and we were talking about the Nico for both sides. The Ahri as well for Mythics is absolutely fantastic. I'm very excited to see it. It is an individually skilled a champion in which Mythics is very individually skilled. It's about whether they can put that to good use here and maybe win their lane. If they have a pressure point from mid lane, they can play through it and perhaps channel that in order to actually win out in game 2.
Yeah, I like the idea of now cover banning that Ahri, taking away the Syndra. Obviously, feels it's a counter he can't play. The Gragas takeaway from Bauer, I don't put too much value on. Bauer has played a lot. He has, probably a decent pool of junglers. I don't know if the Gragas was that instrumental in doing very much.
So think about the early junglers with some really nice early CC. You got Jarvan, you got Sejuani, you got Elise, and you got Gragas. And those are ones that at least come to mind for me. Maybe there are some more that I am not initially thinking of, but that seems like what I would want Bauer to play. And right now, you can't pick any of those because they're all banned out collectively. 3 jungler bans from the side of Windhowl. They really do not like Bauer having a strong pick.
And that is true. But again, we saw Dark Chance on Gragas last game. They first picked it, they preferred it. Why ban it away? You can just pick it up. So that is a little confusing to me. And instead they're going to sort of lock that Cho'Gath into the Jax. Clearly think it's a strong matchup. And this will be a jungle Twitch.
Yeah, that is exciting to see. Bauer again going for these early junglers, wanting to get this game off to a flying start. Hopefully we'll see something interesting there. As the Cho'Gath is picked up for I'm Sub, by the way, into this Jax. And Xinjiao for Dark Chance. Again, junglers that really want to do things early and skim.
Yeah, so Windhowl have just shifted gears right now. Look, this is an early game comp. You want that Xayah laying down, clearing waves and moving with the Xin Zhao. Xin Zhao's going to find as many fights as he can. I don't know the Xin Zhao Twitch matchup, but I'm fairly sure it goes to Xin Zhao. And Cho'Gath, who can pretty much bully laners with that sort of free sustain he gets from his pass. This is an aggressive early game comp, and it'd be interesting to see if they can execute it before this Caitlyn and this Twitch get like online. Because last game we didn't see much of a promising early game, and obviously that didn't let them transition into the late where they would have had the advantage. This time it looks like they're going to go match them head for head. We'll see how this kind of pans out.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I like this Lulu pick as well for Festive. That is really interesting to see. Obviously, it's to play Enchantress for this Twitch. They have double AD carry with double Enchantress and a Jax. This looks like a team that, if executed well, obviously they have no proper front line. This could be a potent team fight, especially when Twitch walks in with maybe the Yuumi or just getting buffed by Lulu, and just blows up the Ahri, the Xayah, the Morgana, maybe even the Xinjiao, using the Rat-a-tat ultimate, and it just sets up so much for the oncoming team fight.
Yeah, but I mean there are concerns for World Saves Lives. Last game we didn't really see them team fight ever. They just made some really good clean picks and then kind of routed Windhowl. This game, if there ever is a team fight and it's even vaguely on Windhowl's terms, they get to initiate. They have a perfect front to back with this Cho'Gath who can just lock down and provide some defense, instantly eat the Twitch. Xin Zhao, who's going to obviously protect that backline with his weird, and you've got the Xayah and the Ahri laying out some good damage. So I really give the team fight to Windhowl. It's if they can get there, kind of dodge this sort of cheese pick from Twitch. It's not really cheese because Bauer's played a heck of a lot of it. But if they can ward around it to avoid that early game, I really do give them the sort of mid-game advantage that they can just pick a fight and take it. And as long as it's on their terms, I do give it to them. So unlike in the last game where there weren't any sort of opportunities, I always think there's going to be a chance for Windhowl to get back in this game. Just take a fight on your terms. So I like the adaptation. It's a really good draft.
Yeah, I do. Especially out of all the things, that Morgana is standing up to me, and I feel like I don't know whether the draft from World Save Lives was what they came into this gunning for. I think it's more of an adaptation because they saw the Lease ban, they saw the Jarvan ban, they saw the Gragas ban, so many of these things just completely taken off the table. And they're like, well, what could we play? And they go, let's play Twitch Lulu as a mid-jungle duo. And it's very surprising.
It's
gobsmacked by that.
It's almost as if Bauer was hoping they ban these champions just so he has they took everything else away. I got to play Twitch. It feels like maybe he was on the leash to play that one. Because you expect them to otherwise ban it. It's like we singled it out as his most played jungler. So either they know what they wanted to do and they had the Xin Zhao prepared, or they just didn't think he'd pick it up in a sort of a more team friendly environment, as it is such a solo queue monster. We'll have to see if they can sort of ward around it. And yeah, like you say, this double lane carry support comp is obnoxious if they get ahead. So we'll have to see. Obviously, you got that Yuumi Twitch interaction, which I think is hilarious. Where one can both appear from invisibility and layer their ults over each other. So we'll have to see if we get to execute that off.
It's like a bit of a nightmare fuel right there, just having this random rat just pop out and go, "Hi!" and just completely destroy you with the rat-a-tat-tat alongside, and with the Yuumi as well.
The cat and mouse combo.
Oh, Tom and Jerry.
Tom and Jerry. There we go. Called it.
That's a good name. It's a good name. Oh, that just sounds like something. If I am one of these squishy members on Windhowl, I do not want to see or hear that voice line or anything, or just be anywhere near that combination.
Yeah, I mean, there are some good targets, but like Zaya has her ult for the peel. Ari's going to just nope out of there. Xin Zhao can just ult them away and walk off with his passive. So they do have the defensive tools to kind of ignore it. So we'll have to see if they get to sort of run away before they're bursted down. I do want to look at the Glacial Augment Cho'Gath. This is I've not seen this before. I imagine it's pretty obnoxious with his sort of E passive and probably, has a slow on it anyway. So his Q. It's going to be a lot of sort of poke and slow down. So this looks like quite an aggressive pick into the Jax.
Yeah, it's interesting. So, for reference, Slacking has like an obscene amount of mastery points on Cho'Gath. And I know I've played with him a decent few times. And I think, if I remember right back, he's a very outspoken person. If you at home have never chatted with him, and he has some choice words about Glacial Augment Cho'Gath. He does not like this, if I remember correctly. As he just generally doesn't like some of these more run you down things. He was very stressed going into this Null matchup. He did send me a message saying, "Dude, if I ain't here, it's not my fault. I do not like it." But luckily got away with that one scot-free, and instead just had a field day on this Jax, and looking to see if he'll be able to do the same. Because if he can ignore this Cho'Gath and farm up and get to the point where he could just one-shot someone, alongside this Twitch, alongside the Caitlyn, alongside Yumi, this damage output is insane.
Yeah, we'll have to see how it evolves. Like again, like as all the games, it's going to be down to this early game. But it's if this Morgana Zyra is the right answer to a Caitlyn, and if the Yumi is sort of throwing a curveball in there. I do like the Morgana into Yumi. I gotta say, like Yumi has one slow form of damage and not much in the way of CC. Like Morgana can just shield that and it's kind of take trade. So should be an interesting lane. I fully expect Xin Zhao and Twitch to, appear on the map before like 3.5 minutes and make a decisive impact on the game. Especially with that Hail of Blades and Zhao. He's looking to battle.
Interesting to see Mythics as well. Again, something I talked about earlier was Mythics on this Ari. Has played a lot of it.
Yeah, gonna ignite Electric. Clearly thinks he can win this matchup.
I mean, against the Lulu early, as long as you don't get polymorphed, I think you're pretty good. And even then, unless we see some really nice auto-attacking and just backing off and giving a lot of space to the Lulu. Sorry, Lulu giving a lot of space to the Ari. I think you pretty much take control of this lane after a couple of levels. Because level 1, level 2, not great. Lulu can abuse you pretty hard. Because obviously your auto attack's really strong. The Q skill shot deals a lot of damage if you hit both of them. You have to be very careful, but of course, Mythics, having played a lot of Ari, will be able to find this opportunity and hopefully should find something, as you say.
Yeah, you're kind of right. I mean, support scaling always means that they have the highest base damage, but as soon as some levels come in, yeah, you expect the Ari to sort of, be able to take over that lane. It'd be interesting to see if Festive tries to sort of hold the wave for Bower and allow him to go in a proxy farm and take jungle and mid lane CS. Could be an adaptation. So we have to see what Mythics does. If he goes for the kills or goes for the shoves and tries to get that lane under tower so he can defend himself with some good vision against Bower.
Indeed. Oh, there we go. Thought my league had crashed for a second there, but luckily we do load in.
We are in.
Bit of a heart attack for a second.
All right, so I want to see if they do anything fancy level 1. It is a Morgana. It is a Xin Zhao. Invades are possible, especially if you want to kind of disrupt this Twitch who needs to be on his red buff level 1. They know where he's going to be. Do they use that?
Oh, had a bit of a tech problem there. So we'll be right back in that pause hopefully soon. But yeah, putting pressure on top of that Twitch early is how you really start him off on the wrong foot. And you want to do that because he has this kind of point where he's really relevant for level 1, level 2, level 3. It could win a couple of these fights. And then until after that, until 6, struggles a little bit, honestly. And then from there, it's about the item power spikes. Playing like a regular ADC in terms of items, it's just about not getting stopped in the early game because you need to be snowballing.
Yeah, 100%. So it's going to be a dark chance. I want to see what he does. If he knows that that's where he needs to be and in his face, or if he tries to react to the Twitch place and vision and just sort of counter gank. Because again, he has got that Hail of Blades. He is going to fight at level 2. So it's just be a case of where and when. All right, and we see them all taking up positions. It looks like it's going to be standard positioning. Nothing too fancy as Ari's covering topside. Cho'Gath, yeah, it looks like they're just going to sort of hold position. I want to see them get some deeper vision. Something we didn't see first game was many wards. I think only like 2 wards went down. I kind of want to see them try and sneak some vision in, especially around this Twitch. You need to know where he's going. So it would be interesting if MacMan tries to sort of dive in there and get a ward onto that red buff, or maybe onto the Raptors just to find out this Twitch. See if he heads towards his blue buff. It's going to be very important.
Yeah. I like the Twitch here because they had such a great first game. And they do also have that leeway. If things go wrong, that's okay. We reset, go game 3. It was a Twitch, you know? It's fine.
Yeah, there is that. This is kind of a power play. You know, we beat you with a good comp. Let's see what we can get away with the Twitch. I think we saw in the chat that Alexa he said that he wanted this draft. So should be interesting to see if that's going to have the results they intended, not just the draft. But we did see this vision down, so it's going to be a case of where does Twitch go early on? Does he look to the bot lane? Does he look to the mid lane? Where is this vision going to be? And can Dark Chance sort of match him?
Yeah, good early trading from both sides in the top lane. Looks like it's going to be a mid lane lane gank actually coming out from Bauer here. Let's see it move on over to their Mythics. Is not aware. Here it comes. There's the auto attacks coming through from Bauer here. Not really enough, as we don't see an opportunity for Festive to really get into range and step up.
Yeah, a good side step with the Q. I mean, it's really going to hurt, but if Mythics can sort of just sit back, chug those potions, and if that doesn't happen to him again, he'll be fine in this lane. But obviously Twitch immediately returning with another lane gank.
Yeah, looking for another opportunity. There's a bit of skirmishing on mid. They put pressure again onto Mythics, but unable to really find anything, unfortunately. As Bauer does get charmed, eats a lot of damage. In fact, Mythics seemingly coming out on top as he is absorbing this pressure from the Twitch early on, and it's not really getting it.
That is huge for Mythics. I mean, Xin Zhao has already done both of his buffs. He knows that the Twitch hasn't done anything and is at half health. I really want to see Dark Chance just go into that jungle and have a fight, because there's no reason not to. But let's say he's just going to clear away the camps with some good knowledge. Cho is pushed back to his tower. Ari's pushed back to their tower. Look, they are playing around this quite well.
They are trying to use this stun in order to engage some of these skirmishes in the mid lane, but isn't able to actually get anything because of the great usage of the knock-up from Unstoppable.
Yeah, unfortunately I missed that. I was looking at the bot lane because I can see Caitlyn and Yumi have got them pushed into the tower, but Muscleman and MacMan have exactly where they want it. This is where the lane wants to be if a Twitch is in your game. Like, you want to keep it right here. Caitlyn's out of range from the tower, so she can't get chip damage, but Twitch can't come and gank you. It's really nice. If they can hold it there, like, we're now doing a good job sort of counteracting this this jungle pick.
Yeah, some wards. And also positioning, give away the Xin Zhao gank. And unfortunately, he's unable to find very little. Does at least push them back and allow the wave to reset.
Yeah, I think Muscleman's reckless charge forward was probably enough to tip them off there. Didn't really hide that gank too well. But we'll see. Twitch is now making his appearance in the top side.
Yeah, stun on time stop. Silence does come through, but Bauer still finds a decent bit of damage. Won't get much in the way of an actual kill. Slacking is actually below half health here, so not a great trade for them. Again, this Twitch doesn't seem to be working out so far. Yeah,
and now we see Xin Zhao making an appearance towards the top. Slacking is very overextended. Dark Chance to head in here. I think this could be a rundown kill.
Yeah, I'm trying to check. He does have ward up, so he will be able to ward up away. Keep that in mind, and still has flash. So it's unlikely that Dark Chance is really going to be able to find this kill, because getting that third hit will be very difficult in such a situation. But does need to be careful because it was very low. So we see that recall.
Yeah, and Twitch back on the map, hasn't got an early kill, so only able to pick up the 2 daggers. Is now just going to lane gank. Is Muscleman going to be aware of it? Are they going to be able to get away in time?
Oh, this was such a terrible timing. They go in exactly as Bauer gets aggressive. That's a nice heal. Will keep Muscleman barely alive. The flashes are going to come through. That's a really nice binding, stopping Muscleman from going down to that very last auto attack. And Bauer Yet again, unsuccessful.
Macman
Did blow all summoners, though, in the...
does get everything. Macman hits the best binding at the wrong time. Stops Yetz in his tracks. They think they can go all in, and then Bauer just appears. It's very unfortunate for them. On the plus side, Twitch's flash is down. He still hasn't secured a kill. So that should give Mythics quite a lot of safety in this mid lane, as he knows he has a flash up to the Twitch. He should be able to just walk away.
Indeed. Again, mid lane being relatively quiet. They're just keeping up in farm. Don't really want to do too much in that regard, because, you know, Festive's pretty happy with it. Mythics wants to now look towards this 6. Has 6 advantage. This should be the opportunity. It's now over, unfortunately, for them to go in. They still should be looking to utilize that and maybe make runs around the map.
It was a brief window. I can see him not going aggressive. You don't have vision of the Twitch. It happened. Every time. When you go in for the trade, the Twitch is there. Support, by the way, a little low, but still has a TP advantage. It hasn't used his in the top lane, whereas Slacking's had to base and reset. So we'll see if Support, by the way, can come back with a favourable back time, or if he's going to hold on to it and maybe look to make a play around this Drake. Obviously, with that non-execute, really easy to contest these objectives, especially against a Twitch who can't stick around them for too long. Looks like he's going to just teleport back to lane, and we're going to have a little bit of a reset. And kind of look at the state of the game. It's pretty even. There's 100 gold in it. Caitlyn has obviously got the CS advantage you'd expect. Bauer's managed to kind of make up most of the CS discrepancy that Dark Chance was able to build during those early ganks, but really this is going quite well for Windhowl. I see them, they haven't conceded too much from these early advantages. Yes, double summons in the bot lane, but as a result of having a Twitch in your game, if that's the only summoner he's managed to get, you're not unhappy with that. So I'm really liking how Windhowl are playing.
The question I have for you is, do you see Windhowl winning because of this?
I see this being the best opportunity they could have made for themselves. They don't need kills in this game. They just
they don't. You're right. They can go late.
Well, no, not necessarily, but 2-item Zyra is going to beat 2-item Caitlyn. I give a Xin Zhao matchup who's been able to farm an advantage over a Twitch who hasn't. So we'll see if they can kind of make a mid-game impact. It is really going to be about if they can get a ball rolling just with pressure around the map, because that 1-item, 2-item power spike is significant if Ward Save Lives as we see a fight.
Yeah, Bauer managing to dodge that Dark Binding, going so aggressively. Muscleman will be going down. That's a really, really nice play from Bauer. Finally managing to net that kill, and they're going to look towards this tower for those platings potential.
Yeah, and just as I was praising them, the Yuumi Twitch combo comes in, drops an exhaust from point blank range. Nothing Muscleman can do. It wasn't quite 6, so couldn't ult up.
Yeah, and notably didn't have that flash anymore from the previous gank. Slacking, having to flash out there as Dark Chance is having a lot more pressure this game than they had prior. Also up 10 CS, as is expected against this Twitch. But a nice opportunity from them. They are going to miss out, however, on this Infernal Drake. They need to be playing the map a little bit better. And
you asked me if I could see them winning from this. If they lose this Infernal Drake, it's looking much bleaker. Yes, they shouldn't be giving away these advantages, but
no.
It's suddenly gone from bad to worse as the BF Sword Power Spike just gives Caitlyn another kill.
Yeah, this is the meaning of Snowball. It starts with one thing, and I don't know what. It seems to not even matter how hard you try.
Please stop.
I'm sorry. Slacking again, getting ganked. The knockup is there. They will take down the top lane. And again, the shining beacon so far has been both Dark Chance and Sup here, as they are looking to make opportunities in the top lane and at least get something in return, as they are keeping the gold relatively even. Only 500 more.
Yeah, and I mean that's perfect play. Dark Chance was in the right place. He wasn't ultimately probably needed, but he did blow his flash. But that's exactly what we want. So Bolt, by the way, takes that the flash is down, goes for the aggressive play. They make a good gank. They take some plates and they back off. And this is what they need to do. Despite giving away that first blood gold and the Drake, they're only 300 gold behind as we see another gank coming towards this mid lane.
Indeed. Bauer getting spotted out though by that control ward. Definitely needs to be needs to try and get rid of those if you're gonna ever succeed in the gank on this Twitch.
Yeah, it's a price you pay. 75 gold to save your life. It's a lot, and you have to keep paying it. But if it denies that 300 gold from the Twitch each time, it's going to be worth it. So it kind of hurts to see your pink ones drop away when you've just placed them down. But Mythic's doing the right thing by picking one up there.
Yeah. By a ward, save a life, and Ironically, doing that against a team named Ward
Yeah,
Save
it's
Lives.
almost as if they're helping them.
Yeah, and Bauer not looking to really help here as we do see the knockup go through. Mythics will be trying to run away. The Rat-a-tat-tat getting a lot of damage down, but it's not quite enough as Bauer, yet again, unable to quite find that kill. Slacking, looking for a fight in the top lane. His sub takes a lot of damage here. That Conqueror is doing so much work. The Glacial Augment trying to keep him off. So, by the way, barely not going down. The Flash does come out from this Cho'Gath. He will be able to just about escape.
Yeah, troubling times when your Jax can do that. He's only got the Phage and a couple of daggers. He's going to get stronger yet. I'm not super happy with the GLP itemization from himself, by the way, as he's going to lose a significant wave, a couple of plates, and he has no TP to get back. So this is really nice from Slacking. Great exertion of some pressure.
Yeah, and this is really impressive because Slacking took that fight, knowing first of all that he could take it, and second of all, knowing what he could get off of it. So now getting a bunch of turret platings, denying an amount of farm. Dark Chance looking for an opportunity to go in here. Slacking just walks away, uses that stun. Isn't really going to be able to get too much on the Xin Zhao right now, but looking for these mid-game skirmishes, the ability to disengage, Dark Chance should continue to be relevant.
Yeah, and he backs on a cannon wave, so he knows he's probably going to pick up the rest of the farm. Gets his stinger. That's a really nice passage of play. Well played from Slacking. Just a good pressure and cost Twitch nothing and wasted Dark Chance's time. So, you know, free for Caitlyn and Yumi to now push up quite strong to the tower as they have been, forcing Xayah back. See if they can pick up another couple of fights. Because
though, looking for an attempt to gank onto Imsup, by the way. Will walk up behind him. Has the opportunity. Will run with him.
He's holding on for a long time.
Yeah, actually moves into the bush. Doesn't want to get spotted out. They're going to chase him towards this mid side, but will only get a few auto attacks and have to walk away.
Yeah, really, really defensive from Bauer. I feel like he could have gone a lot aggressive a lot more early, but support, by the way, walks away.
I mean,
good game sense to know to walk away.
Yeah, oh, there is the Yumi ultimate, the flash forward from Yet, and they're even going to take this Xayah, most likely. No, doesn't quite get it. Doesn't have the mana for ultimate, sadly, for Yet here. Looking for an opportunity to still get that.
Yeah, and Xayah needs to back. You're going to have to surrender this one. She's going to try and hold the tower, but with only flash, does have the ult, so it can possibly hold. It doesn't have the ult, that just looks like a spectator bug.
Okay.
I might do. I thought she used it. Anyway. Mythics in the mid lane is getting ganked. Once again.
Yeah, flash for flash as Bauer tries to chase on. The poison will tick down. Won't quite get taken. Looking for this kill as Bauer is saved by the Lulu here and will net that kill. Really nice play from Bauer, and we'll have to walk away because Dark Champs is hot on his heels.
Yeah, good run from Yetsun Strong just to ensure he can get the red buff. Festive with the ultimate, showing why double supported a carry is really annoying to play against.
You know what else is annoying to play against? A Jax who just runs you down. That's really unfortunate for sub. Unfortunately, not tanky enough and too overextended to actually do anything to Slacking on this Jax right.
Yeah, and I gotta question the GLP pickup and not the the Rod of Ages, which if you want AP, you expect a Rod of Ages on the Cho'Gath. So
I mean, maybe trying to slow him down so he can't just run at him. But even then, I just feel like it's not particularly great. I guess it's looking more towards stopping the Twitch as well. You see the TP come onto top side, is Sup will at least get this farm. So it's not all bad.
Yeah, but
that's 11 farm.
That is very significant that he's lost that though. You expect him to be up on farm, but he's now down to TP. What can World Save Lives do with this advantage? Like Twitch can now go anywhere on the map, be joined by Slacking, take a dragon if they see fit. And Slacking's gonna go for another kill.
Oh my. That's a good knock-up though from Sup. I think you can actually turn this. Let's get it slow. Looking pretty safe there. And now we see Dark Chance rotate up towards this top side.
We see Bauer coming as well.
Yeah, it's going to be a four-man party in the in the top lane. As Bauer will come slightly uninvited as he is going to be invisible. The rat-a-tat pops, the stun comes through. Imsup, by the way, takes too much damage. And alongside Bauer, Slacking rips through the opposing side.
Beautiful from Slacking. Knew that if he just baited it in a little bit, turned around, got the double stun, Bauer could do the rest. Very nicely played from Slacking. And that is going to be first tower. Second tower. They've already got one.
Yeah, it's not quite as dominant as the first game, but it's still a very strong position to be in this game too, as it seems while it didn't look like it early, this Twitch pick is paying dividends.
Yeah, a lot invested and that didn't pay off, but as you say, finally manages to bank on the Twitch. Even gets to steal the red buff away. Has managed to find 3 kills and an assist for his team. Doing good work there on this Twitch. We have to see if they can sort of keep the pressure up because, again, this team doesn't team fight well. So can they break towers when the team is standing under them, or are they going to be relying on picks like we saw in the first game?
Yeah, Mythics has to ult there. Though 2 ults for 1 isn't too bad. Oh, sorry, only 1 ult for 1. I thought Bauer used theirs there, but doesn't seem like they did. Mythics so very low. Yes, he's just going to walk up, pop the ultimate. That would have been really nice if you actually managed to hit that, but unfortunately, it's just too far away. The well-timed Q from Yet will set them up very well as Bauer continues to chase and even gets to kill onto Dark Chance. He's chancing his luck a little bit there, is now towards the mid lane. You can put a lot of pressure, but they're going to go towards this dragon instead, prioritizing this fight.
And they've played this last few minutes really well. Takes the top tower, moves to the mid, knows where to exert the pressure. Unfortunately, Windhow just puts some bad money after good as they tried to save each member. Cost them 1 more. Gonna take the Drake away. At the least, it's a Cloud Drake, you're saying, if you Windhow. But once they've managed to put themselves in quite a commanding position once again, as they are 8,000 gold, 7,000 gold ahead.
I mean, this is really interesting because I thought you would have gone for the tower there. Maybe a bit of miscommunication, or just deciding that they want to extend the laning phase, at least for mid lane, and set up for some of these picks, because it's a lot harder to push forward, potentially. Valor can do it with his invisibility, but everyone else has to be very careful. And they need to increase their amount of vision first, because Windhow, even though they've been losing, their vision hasn't been too bad, honestly.
No, they've always kept a couple of pinks up, most of the places. And kept good tabs on Twitch. It's just he's managed to find these avenues, these awkward side ganks, these moves through lane which you can't really ward out. That has kind of made the play. I agree they should probably have taken the mid tower. It would have unlocked a lot. If it was a safety thing or a conscious decision to force Mythics to stay further up in the lane and allow Bao to make more avenues, then that's great. Otherwise, probably a bit greedy, and they could have gone for the tower instead of the Drake. Bauer is posturing for a team fight here.
Oh, here's the Wrath attack now, but a beautiful charm from Mythic will net them Bauer, and without Bauer, you do not want to take this fight. This is 5 versus 2 now, as they were looking to corral them and keep them locked up. They won't quite be able to do it. Festive will survive. It's about taking the objectives on the other side of the map now, as they actually turn away from it, and they're going to move this bot lane duo into the mid lane, try and keep things going, as Macman, again, going oh so very low, yet providing so much harass from the side here, as many members of Windhow are so very low. They're now trying to do the Rift Herald, but I don't know if you really can. There are 3 members here, and you don't have much health between you.
Yeah, and they've invested so much. They picked up the 700 gold shutdown on the Twitch, and then threw all their flashes, their ultimates, and heal, I think, just on trying to get another kill onto the Lulu. Ultimately, it cost them massively. Its killing just clears up.
Yeah, this is just brutal. You cannot go for that. You did not have the pressure. You didn't have the strength. Sure, you've got to kill him to Bauer. He is the jungler. He can't smite it. But don't forget that you're behind in every other lane as well. And that is a whole bunch of kills for Yetz here, as they are 8-0 on this Caitlyn. As it seems to be working out pretty darn well for them so far.
Yeah, that was a great moment where they had some advantage. Could have pressured mid lane, or just taken the Rift Herald. Instead, they tee up the Rift Herald nicely for Bauer, who's going to throw it down mid lane. Meanwhile, Slacking, completely unopposed, takes a tower in the bot side. And suddenly that gold lead, which was only about 6,000, is now 8-9.
How do you deal with this 4-1, especially when you're individually just not as strong as 5? As therefore just rips through yet another team fight, a double kill for Bauer. And how do you stand up to this? Is Slacking? He's just literally going, I'm just going to AFK push bot. There's nothing you can really do about it, as maybe Mythics is trying to step up, but I think Slacking probably wins that fight. Maybe not on the tower, but give him a 1v1, probably.
Well, I mean, Mythics only has half an hour, but we just saw Windhow throw everything except the kitchen sinks. Mythics wasn't quite there. Everything into Bauer, and he walks away from that fight at 100% health, thanks to the Lulu Ardent Sensor. This is going to be a difficult job for Windhow if they now want to try and take down this Twitch, who is at 6 kills.
Yeah, and I mean, this is really nice as well because now this puts this Twitch on a lot of teams' radar. It is a scary pick. Now you have to think, well, do we ban this? Is this something we really need to be aware
Yes!
of? Have to
Yes,
be
you
very
do.
Yeah, but it provides another dimension to the bans because now, if you go into round 1 bans, you have to ban maybe Twitch, definitely Darius. They have no one has let them have Darius yet. This is a scary What's Your Life team, and they've got so many solo picks. Yates is sat on Caitlyn. No one's even touched it. He's been absolutely fantastic on it. I don't think that's just Caitlyn, but one has to wonder: are you going to let them keep on having it if they keep on winning it?
Yeah, it's what do you what do other teams look to draft into it? Like, yes, if you give them the Darius and the Twitch, maybe they're comfort picks. Maybe you know that they're going to take them and you prepare defenses. Maybe you just say, okay, fine, Darius and Twitch, they're not in this game. We just have to accept that Stronger might pick up a Thresh and we can't ban Morgana. You know, like there's a lot here that they have to worry about. It's been a great performance from Bowers. We're going to see him again engage.
Yeah, this is gonna be really difficult. I think it's pretty much over. I mean, Windhowl, they've got 2 kills. They're 1.1k behind. There's not much you can do. I mean, honestly.
11k.
Sorry, not 10, no, 11, not 1.1.
Times that by 10.
I was up by a factor of 10. But this is brutal. I think something you really need to do against this team, it dodges that Dark Binding again. MacMan really struggling to hit in this game, where they really matter. You need a really strong. You need a really strong pick and ban phase. Slacking, what are you doing there? Just face checks into 2 members, sees that one is right there, maybe trying to just stop the backs here is just wants to let his team get away with murder as again Muscle Man falls and Bauer is still almost at full health.
I think Slacky knew exactly what he's doing. Baited all 3 of them to stay, allows Twitch to just walk up to the remaining members of Windhowl, phase tank all of their damage, and return it straight back as they're going to take 2 inhibitors. I want to see them now like back up, reset, spend the last amount of gold they have, and just hammer down that top side because they don't have the way for them to deal with it.
Oh, nice flash there from Yet, saving their life. Dark Chance can't find it away, and is this Lulu is constantly denying them any opportunity to engage. Really well played, honestly, by Festive. Not super present in this game, obviously not one of those big carries, but a great performance regardless.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about it, it's the hidden power of that ultimate and that shield just to do a lot. It has enabled Bauer as, again, it's just going to be another pick.
That's a Dark Chance. Well, maybe it's not. I mean, he might survive this, which is a bit sad. If you're the WSL, you really wanted that, you know?
I mean, but I think the fact that we're surprised that he survived that tells you about how bad this game state is to Windhowl now. Like, he shows his face, he's the tankiest member, and we expected him to die. It's looking difficult for Windhowl to find avenues, especially as World Saves Live seem to know that a pick is the only way back in, and they are denying it with this good vision control.
Indeed, they're going to move up towards this top side now, and they're just looking to get super minions going. Take down all of these turrets and these inhibitors, and from that, it's not particularly difficult to close. Baron is up, sure, but we don't need Baron. We're just gonna do it, you know, now.
I want to see them back and just wait.
I mean,
30
realistically,
seconds.
they should just go Baron, but they don't seem like they really want to.
No, Twitch hasn't backed in about 10 minutes, so she seems to just be hanging around. But, like, yeah, we're just seeing how much PvE is a struggle for Windhowl right now. They can just place a couple of wards around the Baron just to make sure there's not a steal opportunity and just take their leisure. With the double Infernal Drakes and a Baron buff, there is very
It looks like it's actually the mid and bot lane going towards to just solo Dragon. Solo Baron. We're going to see Bauer move on over, but Slacky keeping this pressure up. If they move away.
See if Slacky can be a tempting target.
Yeah.
Looks like they know and they're rushing towards it, but the Baron's already been started. We'll have to see if they can get there in time, as it's already down to about 2/3.
Yeah, there's not much you can do about it. They might just.
There's a Cho'Gath.
I don't expect a steal.
There's a Cho'Gath, though. It's definitely on the cards. His Festive is quite low, and they've had to walk away.
Yeah, this is a nice opportunity. They do force him off the Baron. Slacking, trying to keep on pushing in. Dark Trance takes a bit of damage there. He needs to be very careful as Yuumi coming in with the zoomies, but won't quite find it. That is a nice block from MacMan there, keeping Dark Trance alive, even though he was going to survive due to that ultimate. But you need to be careful anyway.
Yeah, no, it's good. Sometimes you forget how mechanics work. I don't know how Zinzort works, so I would have just I would not let him hit that. But just going to see a reset, and I think they just rinse and repeat as the inhibitors do have still a fair amount of time on them. They're still spawning those super minions, so they definitely have another shot at the exact same play. Otherwise, as they seem to be rotating, slacking towards there, they can have him around and they're going to rush down this barrel.
Indeed. See a lot of just securing of even the minor objectives, taking all this jungle camps, denying everything they possibly can from dark chance, clearing out the wards, and when you have no vision, you have to go check if something's happening, because now basically no one's visible on the map except maybe this Lulu got caught, but other than that you have little to nothing. Slacking's been hit by the dark binding, but they don't dare to go in. There's not much I can get on them.
So yeah, World Safe Lives are further ahead in gold than they were last game, and they'd already won last game by this point.
Yeah. And that is a dead Xinjiao. That's a nice engage, but unfortunately not nice enough as the rat-a-tat-tat blows them out of the water, and that is all members dead. 30 seconds on the clock. All members alive for Ward Saves Lives, and that is going to be the GG call. They're going to run it down mid, and that's the end of the game right there. It's not
funneled nicely. Stronger just says, thank you very much, hits the ult. Bauer does his thing, and that is a complete wipe. Very well played. A lot of strong performances, yet putting in good work with 10 kills at the end of that game. That was a dominant performance of World Saves Lives, and I think a lot of teams have a lot to take away from that. Definitely a couple of candidates to be permanently banned away. Really good series from World Saves Lives.
Sure, it was against what is potentially the bottom of the league team, but we saw some nice plays. I do think that there are some glimmers of hope for Windhowl, just not against this team and not today. As just completely blown out of the water. 4 kills over 2 games. You haven't really got much to work with there. Yeah,
it's there's definitely some things to tighten up for Windhowl, and there were some promising moments, but you've got to hand this game quite comfortably to World Saves Lives. Dominant performance and really well played.
Yeah. So out of everyone, I want to ask you one good question, because obviously some great players across both these matches. Who would you award your personal, just kind of unofficial MVP to?
You know, I'm gonna give it to Stronger.
Yeah.
Because supports don't get enough love, but his Thresh play was incredible.
Fantastic.
It was something to behold and a lot to take away. I think Thresh is a strong ban candidate against that team.
I think those first 3 knee-jerk reaction bans are Darius, Twitch, and that Thresh, because that Thresh is nasty. Personally, for me, it'd be Bauer. I really like the Elise play, and this Twitch game was absolutely fantastic for them. Really good carry performance. But I do agree, Stronger. Definitely showing where he got his name.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I say, a good performance. I'm not going to take away from Bauer. He did play very well. He should be proud of what he did. And that's not to knock away from Yeston Slacking. Slacking, who doesn't get to play as Darius. Maybe someday.
Someday we'll find it, Darius. For Slacking, but not today. No, I think not for a while. It really does need to sit banned. But after the games today, what do you not ban? Because you can't ban everything. And we've seen some fantastic play, and that is the question that leaves. It's just begging for an answer. And when we see them go up against another strong team, that's where we're going to get some stellar games and some real hard, solid answers for these big questions that are remaining.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching them play against Deja Vu and SES. It should be a good back and forth series. But for now, commanding victory and props to World Saves Lives. Commiserations to Windhowl. Really good series to watch. Thank you for casting with me. It's been great.
No problem. Thank you very much as well. And thank you to everyone who was watching, as we are going to wrap up now. Great series, as you say. 2-0 to World Saves Lives. And a good night to you all.